My Chinese name is Gui Da Ye, Uncle Ghost, or Guibog, Guillaume in French, and live in Beijing in the Hutong for 20 years. Besides my daily job, I do machines, robots, contraptions, and take these friends to performance sometime or exhibitions in Beijing and around.
Tucked away in a traditional courtyard house near Beijing's ancient drum tower is Guibog's workshop, a creative wonderland hidden in the winding alleys of the Hutongs. These historic neighborhoods, with their narrow lanes and tiled rooftops, have been his home for years. Step inside, and you enter a world that hums, clicks, and buzzes with life. It is filled with robots of various shapes and sizes, made from circuit boards, tangled wires, old speakers, and leftover electronics. By day, Guibog works as a software engineer, but off the clock, he plunges into the ocean of circuit boards and electronic cables, where discarded junk are reborn with new purpose.
I don't consider myself an artist, actually, more like a researcher. I'm trying to explore, to discover and to uncover stuff. Now, before I moved to China, I became very interested in...
Before setting foot in China, Guibog was already drawn to the country through philosophy.
Lao Tzu, Zhuangzi.
He read books about ancient Chinese thinkers like Confucius and Zhuangzi, whose ideas opened a window onto a worldview that's different from Western philosophy.
It was answering some of my questions. And then I had a friend who had... his girlfriend was from China. So we had the occasion to come for tourism, just 2 weeks, Beijing and Jinan and Shanghai. Then I did really like the place, the country, the people.
That brief 2-week journey left a lasting impression on Guibog, and it wasn't long before he felt the pull to come back. Except this time, he was to stay much longer. He found a teaching job in Chengdu, the laid-back capital of Sichuan province in southwestern China. And it was there that he met his wife. After spending some time together in France, the couple eventually made the decision to settle down in Beijing. It felt like the right place to start the next chapter of their lives.
When you come from France and you arrive to China, everything is completely different. New taste, new smells, new people, and you feel a bit like a new world is opening up for you, which is very interesting.
Then one day, a colleague invited him to a party in the Hutongs. The narrow alleys and the traditional courtyards struck a chord, and he knew right away that he wanted to live in a place like that. Soon after, he rented a house in the Hutong, and he's never looked back.
I always was interested in new exotic things, especially in the Beijing Hutong. You have a lot of little shops, funny old Beijing tradition like the pigeon, the dress they have, or the way they speak. So to me it's like a daily amazement and discovery.
Guibog's journey into robot making was inspired by a pair of Swiss artists, Peter Fischli and David Weiss, who made the 1987 art film The Way Things Go. The film documents a chain reaction made entirely of everyday objects, such as tires, trash bags, wooden planks, shoes, letters, that glide, roll, and titter in a domino-like performance. Watching these ordinary things come alive through movement and chaos lit a spark in him. Back in France, Guibog began to explore what he calls the inner life of machines, working primarily with synthesizers. But his first steps toward making robots happened almost by chance. Years ago, while at home with a friend, they cracked open a power supply casing just out of curiosity. What they found inside felt like opening a door to a secret world. These everyday components, wires, circuits, and boards, became the raw material for his first sound monsters. For Guibog, traditional instruments often sound too predictable, but the sounds that emerge from repurposed machines, those are exciting.
And also with glitch, video glitch, to me it's one way to have something that reveals itself from inside.
Those flickering, broken images, like distorted TV screens or corrupted video files, feel to him like brief messages from another dimension. These visual and sonic glitches aren't just noise, they're a form of communication. In a world that constantly rewards what's correct or useful, Guibog finds magic in what's broken, messy, and beautifully wrong. It's about revealing the organic voice hidden inside machines.
I don't have a preconceived, I don't really think I want to do something like that. I have some material there and they take some shape by themselves most of the time. That's what I try. I usually don't cheat, so I don't add stuff that shouldn't be there or special tricks or whatever. If there is sound, it's sound. I will not try to add some sound to force something into it. 对，所以我要喊一个。
Over the years, his studio has become packed with old circuit boards, discarded electronics, and random bits salvaged from the city's forgotten corners. What looks like junk to others becomes the raw material for Guibog's soniferous inventions.
Some friends know that I can be interested in their old stuff they don't use anymore, so they kind of send me. Sometimes it's a gift. Sometimes I buy it from the second hand, the flea market. Sometimes I just, yeah, I can show you that. I don't know if, just this I just got from a Feiqi, abandoned restaurant. So I found it in an abandoned place. And now you see the big LED. Maybe I can do something from it. Then this is a bit ugly. I need to change it. And then, and this one, this is a lamp.
Guibog's experimentation sometimes brings surprises, but not always pleasant ones.
I used an old small TV to make a robot. The robot's name is Calixte. Every robot has a name. And this one, because it's TV, I think there is some potential electricity, and then I got shocked. Then I did have to cover this part because so there is one part of the robot which is dangerous. Then another time I had, oh that's very sad, I had a very big capacitor, which means kind of the radio from the 60s or even the 50s. So it's a big button and things turning inside like that, and it has very strong, crunchy sound I did love. And then it died. It's kind of explosion. The sound became more and more interesting, louder, and then nothing. And then that happens sometime, yeah.
Guibog also brings his creations to experimental musical performances. In the world of experimental music, they're a rare sight. In his past shows, Guibog would often quote from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the tale of a scientist who stitches together a creature from discarded body parts. There's something a little bit Frankensteinian in the way Guibog sees his own process. Through his hands, these broken fragments are linked, revived, and given a second life, not as what they once were, but as noisy, blinking, unpredictable performers in his ever-growing robotic orchestra.
Another one I did is this one, Trans.
Today, Guibog is taking his creations a step further by incorporating AI tools into his work. He has developed talking avatars, including one of Zhuangzi and another of Plato, allowing these ancient philosophers to converse with each other in a digital form.
So you can write a question, and there is some context, so you can choose the personality of the being, and then the AI service will reply with some text, can be translated to like English and Chinese. I mean, I programmed all the system to for these connections, and then text-to-speech conversion with some glitch, homemade glitch inside, and then so you can hear the machine or the robot talk a bit like a voice with a voice coming from the very far away or very, very deep inside.
Guibog says life in Beijing offers a nice contrast between the old and new.
There is a Confucius saying which I should remember. I think it's "Wen gu er zhi xin," which means to heat, to warm up the old to make the new. And I think the things I do, like the robots, are actually not that new, because humans have built machines and contraptions from a very long time. And now in Beijing, I also have this feeling of old and new together.
His 3 children love these handmade machine friends. In his spare time, Guibog enjoys building things together with them.
They like it. They are interested, especially the youngest one. Maybe they think I'm a bit crazy, but that's okay. They also develop their own creativity. Sometimes it's a bit related or maybe not related. I do often stuff with them, like explore places or build stuff, or because in a house like that there is always something that needs to be fixed. So I try to involve them in. I think it's very important to teach the children to use their hand and be able to fix these things themselves and not always call for help.
As Guibog continues to experiment and evolve his creations, his work speaks to something deeper than just circuits and code. In a time when technology is rapidly advancing, Guibog's poetic approach invites us to reimagine our relationship with machines.
And what I try to do is to, in a way, is to bridge the uncanny valley. It's a famous feeling of weirdness you have when the robots become more and more like humans. So we can have this with the AI, and I tried in my small part to make robots more friendly to humans, and so in order to have humans understand and have a good relationship with machines and robots.
With that, we come to the end of this episode. Thank you for listening. If you are interested in hearing more fascinating life stories, be sure to find us at radio.cgtn.com or on any of your favorite podcast platforms. Just key in footprints. You can find more stories anytime, anywhere. I'm Xingyu. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.